Hey, how's it going guys? Welcome back to Anime Reborn, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a character analysis and have a closer look on the new secret unit from the Winter Banner event, EO from Heaven. In this video, we'll be checking out what it takes to acquire this unit, his different abilities and attacks as he is upgraded on the field, his evolution, his stats and passives, and how he performs as an overall unit to determine the big question, is he good, and is he worth it? So, before we dive in, if you enjoy this type of content and want to see more of it, please hit that like and subscribe button. Not only it helps me grow as a channel, but also allows me to continue to provide you guys with the content you like to see and enjoy. Alright, let's jump in. So, for this first part of the video, I'm going to show you guys how to acquire him in the first place. So, from here, from our starting point, we're just going to want to go to the new adventure area for this winter event. So we just go to adventure, and you can actually get him from this separate summon banner station. So don't confuse it with our original summon area. We still have this, and it still runs the same banners of the older characters that have already released. But yeah, don't confuse that with the new banner in the adventure area. So we're just going to go back here, and if you actually go to the index, you can see that these are a list of the characters you can get. So we have one rare, one epic, one legendary, and our mythical is currently Tashrio, but you can see here the secret at a 0.01% chance of just rolling on this banner, you have a chance of getting EO from Heaven. So I was lucky enough the other day to get a roll on him after I had farmed a lot of the candy canes from doing T10 portals and the Mayhem event. I have two separate videos on that if you want to take a look in my channel there. I have them recently posted on how to solo that content. But yeah, that's pretty much how you acquire him. It's pure luck. It can be brutal for some people. Remember, we're dealing with probability here, so some people might get it on their first pull. Some people get it on their 100th pull plus. So, you know, probability and luck can be brutal sometimes. Sometimes it can be great. Don't forget that. But yeah, I'm just glad that I was able to get a roll on him, so then I can make this video and kind of do a in-depth review for you guys. Alright, let's move on to the next part where we go over his character stats, passives, and his evolution. Alright guys, so here we are. We have him right here. I don't have him fully leveled yet. I've been trying. It's pretty tough to level in this game unless you run like the raid content to build up some magic stones, which seem to level up units pretty quickly. I have a handful of the new units that came out with this winter event, so it's definitely been a drain on my resources trying to get all of the new units leveled up. But for now, we're just going to look at EO from Heaven, and I currently have him at level 40, and we're just going to take a look at what he can do here. So he is considered a fire element unit. He is ground for now. I believe he turns into a hybrid as you level him up. I will have to confirm on that in our third part of the video when we actually get him on the field and check out what he can do. But yeah, secret character, very rare and difficult to acquire, but usually these characters are pretty good, so I have high hopes for him here. So I was able to roll on the trait rerolls. Currently I have him at an Agile 2, which isn't really what I'd like. Because you could only place one of this unit on the field, it makes sense that you would probably want to roll Miracle trait on him, since that limits you to one placement anyways, and it buffs him incredibly. So yeah, it's not bad though. Starts at 1.7k, and our DPS is at 239 per second. So, you know, these stats don't always translate to what the character can actually do on the field. It really depends on what kind of abilities they have, what types of attacks they have. Is it AoE? Is it single target? Things like that. So for now, this is what the character can do on paper. He's quite expensive, similar to Time King, being 9,750 for placement. EO is 81.50 for placement. So quite an expensive character, but usually, like I said, these characters are worth it. So I don't have him evolved yet, but I just finished getting the resources to evolve him. So during this part of the video, we're just going to go ahead and evolve him on the spot, and we can go over what he gets. So for his bonuses after evolution, he gets a 25% damage increase, which is great. Plus one new special move, Heaven's Time Stop. So this is interesting. I'm pretty excited for this because very similar to Time King, it looks like he's going to be able to special ability freeze the enemies on the field, and that's extremely good. Especially if you were to use him with Time King, alternating between their freezes is going to really impair the movement of the enemies on the field, which is going to be extremely good for things like infinite challenges, infinite runs and stages, things like that. So another new move, Heavenly Punishment. Forgive me, guys, this game has a lot of different anime characters. I am not really, just a disclaimer, I am not, like, I watch anime, but I don't know all of them, so forgive me if I don't know these characters' real names and some of their move sets. I'm just going to call them what it looks like on the surface. Don't be offended. But yeah, let's go ahead and evolve this guy. 5 rainbow stars, and of course you need to get his evolve item from the NPC over at the adventure area, where you can redeem it for 10,000 candy canes, I believe. But alright guys, I've got 10,000 eliminations on him. I see a lot of people asking, how do you get these eliminations up quickly? I just brought him into an infinite stage, Fujishima, and I just made sure to put like my Gohan and my Light further down the lane as kind of a backup, and I made sure to put EO at the front where the enemies are spawning to make sure that he gets the priority on the enemy kills. So that was a really quick way. Basically, one run was able to get me about 3,000 eliminations plus, so I did a few of those runs and I finally got to what I needed. Alright guys, let's hit that evolve button. Boom. EO from heaven. Perfection. Alright, let's see. Holy, look at his DPS. That shot up, so we're already singing at 312. That's pretty awesome. This guy, I have high hopes for him. He's looking really good. So, let's go back to the unit. Sort by strongest, and he's already quite up there at level 40. So let's see what he's got now. So Heaven's Scar, first unit within this unit range gets Scar effect on all attacks. I believe Scar provides a debuff because this girl also has Scar status effect. I believe that's like a bleed. If I recall, it's like a bleed status effect. So it continues to, with each attack, apply Scar status effect for 5 ticks. So I'm not really sure if the Scar status stays on permanently. First unit within this unit range gets Scar effect on all attacks. Okay, so it's like a permanent Scar debuff on the enemy that stays on. It's not like 5 ticks. Okay, interesting. Perfect Scar. This unit applies Scar on all attacks that deal 15% of unit damage per tick. Double of normal Scar. Holy, that's a big one. This unit applies Scar on all attacks so every one of his attacks applies Scar that deal 15% of the unit's damage per tick. So let me put this into perspective for you guys. There's additive damage in games, which is like single digits. Sorry, not single digits, but it's like, you know, numbers like 50 or 100. And then there's percentage. Percentage scales with a certain amount of number. And then there's multiplicative. Generally, multiplicative is probably the best in most cases, but percentage would be also really good because it scales to the different types of enemies. So, for instance, this unit applies Scar on all attacks that deal 15% of the unit damage per tick. That's pretty big, because that's gonna do, let me just read this here. This unit applies Scar on all attacks that deal 15% of the unit damage per tick. So it's taking 15% of this unit's damage and applying it to the enemy as tick damage, I would assume, since he's on Scar. That's a lot. So not only he's doing his initial damage, but he continues to do 15% of his damage to the enemy as tick damage as he continues to walk down the lane. That's big. That's really good, actually. And I believe he has a special ability, but we won't be able to see that until we get him onto the field and actually test him out. So we're going to move right into that. He's looking very promising. I'm excited to see what he can do. Okay, guys. So, I just picked Fujishima Infinite to demonstrate this guy. I'm just going to place, let's see. I'm just going to place my speed cart over here for now. And I'm going to place my Gohan and Light further down the line, just so then I could place my EO at the front. That way we can get a demonstration of what he can do, kind of isolate him a little bit. And these guys will just be kind of my backup, make sure I don't fail the stage. But yeah, just a little tip too, with Speed Cart, if you're running him. If you're annoyed by the factory that he builds, just remember that the factory always places on his left hand. So just rotate him around until, like if you have him here, just rotate him around until his left hand is facing the direction that you don't want the factory to be in. Or sorry, I said that wrong. His left hand is where the factory will be, so make sure you keep that in mind when you place him down, if you are bothered by that being in the way. Alright, so right now I'm just waiting for Speed Cart to level up so then I can get enough money to place down our newly evolved EO from Heaven. So what we'll do is once I place him down, we'll go through each of his upgrades one by one and see at what levels his attacks evolve from, the differences between his attacks, what kind of stats are affected, and then once we get him to the max, we'll be able to see what his special ability truly does. You gotta love this combination here. Gohan is just a damage beast, literally. He's so good. He does so much damage, and then he's so cheap to put down too, which is such a strong thing. And then with combination of Light basically finishing off the enemies that are weakened, he has a chance to spawn these light enemies that come from the base, and they're just so good for picking up the straggler enemies that are just weakened or have made it through. So, okay, we're finally ready to start putting EO down. Let's have a look here. So, I'm going to place him right here. And let's see what he does. So, first attack, it looks like he's just shooting a beam that hits a single target for multiple hits. First upgrade isn't going to really do anything except increase his stats. It actually brings his time to attack down a little bit. Okay, so by stage 2, he's a pretty expensive character to upgrade in the first place, but bringing him to stage 2 is already going to change his attack into barrage. And as you can see again on the stats, it brings his attack up, his time to attack down, and his range up. So very good for only 2 upgrades. We're going to change it. Okay, so it's changed to his punching ability. So it looks like it hits, oh yeah, so it hits multiple enemies now. So by upgrade 2, we're hitting multiple enemies, which is pretty awesome. Okay, stage 3. Stage 3 doesn't change his attack, but it increases its strength, which is good. Our next one gives us a different... I'm just going to upgrade these guys real quick here so then they don't get through. Okay, so our next stage, stage 4, is going to change his attack into Pummel. Again, we're getting always a damage increase, and we're still getting a lower attack time to attack, which is great. Our range seems to stay the same, so let's go ahead and change that. So here we have a different attack. It looks like a single attack, but it hits a group of enemies, same as before. And then we're going to upgrade him one more time. It looks like we just keep getting a lower time to attack, which is great. Okay, so here looks like a pivotal moment for his upgrade. So at upgrade 5 going on to 6, we get the lightning arc plus... Oh, he becomes hybrid. Okay, so yeah, again, this is a pivotal upgrade. So at upgrade 6, you're changing him from ground into a hybrid unit. You get a nice bonus to your damage. Unfortunately, our time to attack is now going to increase, but we do get a bit of a range increase as well. So let's go ahead and get that going. Okay, that's pretty cool. So now it looks like he hits in a straight line, hitting multiple enemies, doing great damage. And he's now become a hybrid, so he can hit ground enemies and enemies that are flying. We're just going to continue to upgrade him here. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Upgrade 7 doesn't change his attack, but we continue to get damage increase. And now our time to attack is going to start going down again. And we get a nice bonus to range still. Okay, now we've hit his 8 out of 9 upgrades, so this is going to be his final upgrade. As you can see, he gets his final attack change, a huge boost to damage. Unfortunately, again, where it's like a roller coaster here, we're going to go back up to a larger time to attack, but we get a pretty substantial increase to range again. But that also gives us our special ability, so let's go ahead and see what this does. So we're fully upgraded with him. Ooh, and it turns into a nice area of effect attack. So anything in this range is going to get hit, doing a lot of damage. And you can see the ticks happen. So his scar, remember his passive we were talking about, the scar? So enemies that don't initially die, look at them budge. They're taking tick damage. And it's doing 15% of his attack and damage, so they're taking that extra tick damage as they're walking down, which is doing a really good amount of extra tick damage. And let's see what his time stop does. Oh, that's awesome. That's a nice effect. So yeah, it's a time stop, completely stops the enemies in their tracks, very similar to Time King. And wow, that's going on for a long time. Notice how the boss is continuing to take that tick damage. I don't know if it's like once or if they continue. Okay, so I see the tick damage. It happened like 2 ticks. There were 2 ticks that happened. So maybe it's just like a one-time thing. That I'm not 100% sure of just from looking. But that time stop is really good, but boy does that have a long cooldown. So someone like Dragon Emperor or Kaido would be really good paired with him because Kaido cuts down people's special ability by 15%, I believe. And so that will really help with these kind of abilities that have a long cooldown. But very cool. Nonetheless, very cool. He can time stop for a long time, and you'll be able to alternate that between Time King. Time King having only a 60-second cooldown, I believe, on his. So you'll be able to alternate between his time stop and Time King's time stop. And if you put Kaido between both of them, that's a 15% cooldown. That's a 15% reduction to their cooldowns, meaning you're going to just be able to freeze enemies on the field even quicker, which, in my opinion, is extremely good. And he's doing some really good damage. You know, nothing crazy yet, but then you got to remember that I don't have Miracle Trait on him yet. If I do get Miracle Trait on him, that number is going to probably jump up really high. For what he can do, the tick damage, the area of effect damage, the fact that he turns into a hybrid, he has a really good kit. And I would say he definitely probably fits into the meta just because of his full kit. He can stop enemies, he has AoE, he has pretty big range, he has good damage, especially if you roll a good trait on him, and yeah, he fits in well with the team. Very similar to Time King, which is very cool because Time King's really good. Alright, so just for this part, I just want to get a spectate on him. I haven't actually had a closer look at him, so very cool model, very detailed. They did a great job on him. The effects, the attacks, everything looks really awesome. Oh yeah, you can see the scar status effect apply, right? So it only stays on for a couple seconds from the looks of it, or maybe it only applies 2 ticks. Those details we did not know, but it's good to be able to see it in action here. That the scar applies for about 2 ticks, 3 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds. Not bad. I think if it continued all the way, that would be extremely broken. He would be very, very broken if those ticks continued all the way, because that's a lot of chip damage. Alright guys, so we're back here for the last segment of the video where I basically answer, is he good? Is he worth it? So, in my humble opinion, based off what we've just kind of reviewed and witnessed, I personally think yes, he is worth it. I think almost every secret character, exclusive character is going to be worth it. They all seem to have good kits in this game. EO has a really good kit. He can time stop, he can apply the scar debuff where it ticks for 15% of his damage. It's a shame that I don't have a good trait roll on him right now, but with a miracle trait roll, he will be extremely good. I think definitely worth pulling for him. Right now, if you go and watch my how to solo T10 portals, you can get somewhere between 4,000 to 5,000 candy canes every 5 to 6 minutes. So you should be able to build up candy canes pretty quickly if you can solo those portals, which is going to give you a lot of candy canes to be able to pull on those winter banners and hope to get EO from heaven. So that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments if you guys like this type of format and this type of video and content. I can definitely try to start doing this for as many units as possible, just to give you guys kind of a deeper look into what these characters can do, what I think of them, what their passives are, what their upgrades I'll do. I hope it's really helpful for you guys. So let me know in the comments if it is, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.